beach with bombs falling in all directions. Well, inside Shifa, there are dozens of newborn babies at critical risk. They're meant to be kept in incubators. The babies, however, are now wrapped in blankets without oxygen and temperature regulation, critical for their survival. Shifa's director says he requested to evacuate the babies to a safe place, but the Israelis haven't responded. The worsening situation in Gaza was the focal point of a summit held in Saudi Arabia. Arab and Islamic leaders there issued a joint statement calling for a binding UN resolution to put a stop to Israel's aggression. Well, around the world, crowds are holding rallies in solidarity with Palestinians. This is London, where police estimate at least 300,000 people were in attendance there. Well, we will have more on those protests a little later, but first, let's hear from Dr. Mohammed Abu Salmiya, the director of Shifa Hospital in Gaza. He said time is running out for dozens of premature babies trapped in the hospital, which is now under constant Israeli attack.
Unfortunately, we have lost 2 children there. They were 39 children, and now there are 37 newborns due to the power outage and the oxygen devices, and we had to shift them to an unhealthy location that is not conducive to newborns. We have placed 10 newborns, prematurely born babies, on one bed because these children, they need a particular temperature, they need a particular respiration and ventilators, particular nutrition. They need high medical care. Now they are in a very perilous and precarious situation. Now the risk of the entire power outage going from the entire hospital, this will be a great threat. And we are talking about prematurely born babies weighing between 800 to 2,000 grams. Such weighs require very intensive care unit, and we have lost 2 kids so far. There are shocking images. I have them. Unfortunately, I don't have internet connection to show them because the occupation has severed internet connection and all channels of communication.
We understand that this is not sustainable. Has anyone offered to help with these babies?
When we communicated with International Red Cross, they gave us permission to move them from one place to another within 1 hour. That's the only thing that the Red Cross was able to do. We requested protection for these children and protection for all patients in the intensive care unit. However, they told us that you have only 1 hour to remove these children from one place to another. Now we placed the children in very unhealthy places that is not conducive to their condition. These children were born after less than 7 months of pregnancy, weighing less than 2,000 grams. They need very high medical care. They are left in normal regular beds, without the needed requirements and accommodation for prematurely born babies. They need particular temperature, particular ventilators, particular nutrition, particular type of milk. All these are lacking now. Now we are struggling to save their lives using primitive methods, using manual, simple methods. But however, this is very unsustainable. And I say that this place, we have electricity until the morning only. Once electricity is out, these children will die just like the previous 2.
Dr. Salmiya, the Israeli military has said that they've offered to evacuate these babies out of Shifa hospital. Is this the case?
That is not the case at all. I am in touch with them. They contacted me. I offered them, I told them that I have patients and I have babies in incubators and I need to remove them to a safe place. I offered this, but they didn't respond. I requested to evacuate them using ambulances to safe places. Safe places means another hospital. We can't leave them like they did with Arantisi Hospital when they told the children to go wherever you can. This will not happen with children in incubators. In this way, children children will die on the way. We want safe exit with safe and secure medical supervision to arrive safely to another hospital. Now, all the hospitals in Gaza Strip in the north and south cannot receive this high number of children in incubators. We are demanding from the entire world, from your platform, we need to take them out safely using safe ambulances and incubators.
Well, while doctors at Al Shifa Hospital, as you've heard, they battle to keep those children alive, we're getting reports that there have been further attacks on Al Shifa Hospital, the main hospital, of course, in Gaza. Tarek Abu Azoum is in Khan Yunis, that's in the south of the Gaza Strip. And Tarek, as I mentioned there, we're hearing of renewed attacks in and around Al Shifa Hospital. We know it's surrounded by Israeli forces and has already been targeted multiple times in the past 24 hours. What more can you tell us?
Yes, the vicinity of a Shifa hospital and even the yards of the hospital has been repeatedly attacked by the Israeli occupation air forces, where the Israeli air drones had opened its fires over the residents and even the yards of the hospitals during the last hour. This attack considered to be one of the main attacks that had been carried out after the destruction of the solar panels and even after the destruction of the main water tank that is stationed in the western aspect of the Shifa hospital. Now, these kinds of air raids continue as the Israeli occupation soldiers are trying to advance more towards Shifa hospital, where they are right now far away, hundreds of meters from the medical complex. Now, the medical complex from inside hosts around 600 patients, with also hundreds of people, also others wounded and receiving a treatment inside the hospital. Now, those people inside the hospital, besides the medical teams, are running low on food and even water. They are no longer be able to get out of the hospital. They might be bombarded or targeted by the Israeli occupation soldiers who are stationed in on the rooftops of the majority of buildings surrounding the Shifa hospital. Also, the attacks that is still right now continue on the vicinity of the hospital and even the surrounding areas give a clear sign that Israel is determined to arrive at the Shifa hospital and to check if there's any military infrastructure, as they claim, under the underground buildings of the hospital. Meanwhile, the Israeli forces are encountered by furious Palestinian fighting by the Palestinian fighters who are trying to destroy the military artillery tanks and even to prevent them from arriving to the medical complex.
And Tarek, meanwhile, concerns are growing for the welfare of these 37 babies in a critical condition. They're meant to be in incubators. They can no longer power those incubators. It sounds like an impossible situation for doctors at that hospital right now. Any indication of what might happen to them?
Well, obviously, the situation in hospitals is really critical, and specifically in the children hospitals. We are talking about Al-Nasr and Al-Rantisi hospitals. Those two hospitals considered to be the main hospitals that are providing treatment and even medical care for premature babies. And those babies require a kind of advanced medical care, which requires a kind of constant electric current and even to have a kind of a constant medical follow-up from doctors. Doctors have been exhausted for more than 35 days of fighting as they are trying to work according to the minimum rates of fuel and even medical supplies that turned up to the hospital and that is already existing inside the hospital. Those babies are really facing a deep shortage of oxygen, and this oxygen requires electricity in order to be generated. And with the ongoing crisis of fuel, their lives are really at critical risk. That one baby has been died due to the lack of fuel and to the also the ongoing crisis of fuel inside the hospital. Now, it's not only the main hospital that is suffering from the shortage of fuel, but the majority of hospitals in Gaza Strip are witnessing the same condition, but the situation on the hospitals in the north and central areas of Gaza Strip is beyond compare.
And to add to that, of course, we are hearing from the Israeli military who have promised to guarantee safe passage for those children, although doctors in Al Shifa say absolutely no guarantees have been made to them. Tarek, many thanks for the update. Tarek Abu Azoum in Khan Yunis. Well, Israel's Prime Minister has again rejected growing